charges on to the first turn, and Jeff Emig gets a hole shot. Yamaha rider, you haven't seen him all night. Came out of the consolation. He leads the race over Matasevich second into third spot as they work their way through turns 3 and 4 for the first time with Suzuki teammates Larry Ward and Steve Lamson. And the big guns stuck back in the traffic, Larry.
Well, after the results of that first heat race crash, I could understand why they might be just a little bit gun-shy. In any event, it looked to me like Bale, like Stanton, like Damon Bradshaw just backed off the pace and let the field go through corner number 1.
To watch for the numbers. Number 4, Damon Bradshaw. Number 1, Jean-Michel Bale. There's Bale right beside Jeff Stanton. Number 2, they're outside the top 10. Got a long way to go to the front as Emig sets the pace up front. And number 9, Jeff Matasevich, tries to hold off the Suzuki charge of Ward and Lamson.
I think it's going to be interesting from this point on. Jeff Matasevich is really not pushing Emig. As a matter of fact, he's letting Emig go, and Emig has opened up about a 4 or 5 bike length lead as we watch the rest of the field come through. Matasevich is in effect, maybe because of lack of training, that injury that you mentioned earlier, Dave, holding up the rest of the pack.
Lamson has moved around Ward to take over third. Now they're side by side in the race for third and fourth and give the spot back to Larry Ward. Behind them, the challenge from the fifth-place man, Mike LaRocco, trying to get something going here in his debut for Team Kawasaki. He is alongside the youngster Lamson and makes the pass to pull off fourth spot. His teammate from last year, number 10, Larry Ward, solidly in third. He'll be the next man in LaRocco's sight. Meanwhile, Jeff Emig out front. For the folks who haven't followed this series for a couple of years, who the heck is Jeff Emig?
Well, Jeff Emig in 1991 rode a 125 in the Western Series. Then when the opportunity presented, he was not on that 125cc bike. Eastern races, he jumped aboard a 250, and he was quite impressive. I think it led up to this full-time 250 in 1992, and Yamaha is getting their money's worth.
Everybody talks about Damon Bradshaw as the Yamaha guy. Emig is the guy stealing all the headlines right now, and Bradshaw is way back in the pack and playing catch-up. So Emig sets the pace over Matasevich. If he's a question mark with that broken leg right now, the answer is fast, 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 because he is in second spot under some pressure from Larry Ward. That's very impressive to have that kind of an injury and come back as quickly as Matasevich did.
Well, the question in my mind, can he keep it up? Is he going to run into some kind of a fatigue wall as this race progresses? Meanwhile, no fatigue out front. Emig is flat, getting the job done. I'm impressed.
Ward trying to put some pressure on Matasevich. Larry was a heat race winner here tonight after the big crash for Stanton and Bale in turn 1. He'd like to take advantage of any Matasevich weakness and get himself into second spot, perhaps mount a challenge at Emig. I'm impressed at the gap that Emig is maintaining here. Matasevich is certainly not able to match the speed of the leader, and for the moment, what a shocker. Who would have expected that 5 laps into the first race of the season, the guy we'd be talking about is Jeff Emig. Not that he's not a great rider, but he certainly knows Jean-Michel Bale. Here's the battle for second place, and it is tightening up. Matasevich is under pressure from Ward. Ward, in turn, is being pursued by LaRocco, the man on the move. Number 3, Kedrowski, is now 5th. Could be a big night for Kawasaki with 3 men in the top 5.
Let me throw one more at you. Right behind Kedrowski, rider number 4. He'll come into our view here in a second. There he is, Damon Bradshaw. He has come from out of the top 10. He is the fastest rider on the racetrack right now. Look for him to be a factor in this one before it's over.
A night of surprises, certainly, in Orlando, and I think that's one of the appeals of Supercross, the fact that it is indeed a pretty unpredictable ball game that unfolds in these stadiums back and forth across America. Who would have picked Jeff Matasevich to run second, and this is first race back after that big crash. LaRocco battling with Kedrowski. The Team Kawasaki guys headed for the front. LaRocco winner at the Las Vegas Supercross last year. Kedrowski has never won a Supercross, so this could be a big night for either of these guys. LaRocco seems to be the most aggressive man in the top 5. Look here as he moves inside, forces Ward out of position, takes over the 3rd spot. LaRocco closing in on his other teammate, number 9, Jeff Matasevich. Good 4-man battle right there.
LaRocco is on a roll. You mentioned the word, or you said rather the word aggressive, and that's almost an understatement. Morocco came through that set of whoops. He invented a line all over the motorcycle. Oh, and look at the bump.
Hey, that was Kedrowski bumping, blasting his way past Larry Ward. That'll move him into 4th spot. He didn't want to let Morocco get away. It shakes up the top 5, and we'll be back with more from Orlando right after this.
The Supercross 250 and 500 champion. The AMA 600 Supersport champion. The AMA National Cross Country champion. If you don't have a wing, you don't have a prayer.
Men admired him.
Here's to you, fellas. Let's have a hell of a season.
Women loved him.
Where have you been all my life, Baby Ruth?
But how he played the game was only half the story.
Are you Santa Claus?
Well, no, kiddo. I'm Babe Ruth.
You're making more money than the president.
Why not, sis? I had a better year than him. Hey, wait!
John Goodman, Kelly McGillis, The Babe. Rated PG. Starts Friday, April 17th.
We're in Orlando, Florida. You tuned in to watch Jean-Michel Bayle, Jeff Stanton, Damon Bradshaw. Instead, you're seeing Jeff Emig, Jeff Matasevich, Mike LaRocco. What's going on here? LaRocco puts an inside move on Matasevich, takes over 2nd spot in the opening round of the 1992 Camel Supercross Series. It has been a night of surprises indeed. The big names are still working their way through the traffic. You'll get glimpses of Jeff Stanton as this pack work their way over the jump. Stanton is now up to 5th spot. That is the best of the big names. Bradshaw has crashed and gone to the back of the pack, and Bayle has just been cruising around. The series champ is sitting at the tail end of the top 10 with problems that perhaps he'll be able to explain after the race is over. Larry, I get the impression as we watch this battle for 3rd that the pace of this race is changing.
It indeed. As a matter of fact, some riders being left behind. Matasevich most notably. He was just passed by Kedrowski. There goes Stanton. Stanton nailed the triple. He takes over the number 4 position. Kedrowski now up into 3rd, and that puts Matasevich all the way back to 5th.
Matasevich hit that wall you talked about earlier?
That's the one. Matasevich is flat, running out of gas, and frankly, I don't know how he has kept it up there as long as he has.
Remember Jeff Matasevich coming off the broken leg. Stanton basically making up from a terrible start here. He crashed in the start of his heat race, had to run the semifinal, but he is now the man on the move going after Kedrowski and number 7 LaRocco. They are the Kawasaki teammates, and they now sit in 2nd and 3rd spot in the race. They're behind the leader, Jeff Emig, who has set the pace from the start in a big surprise here in the series opener. Stanton, you got to feel like a freight train.
He is. He has the momentum. The adrenaline is flowing. Now, I think that Jeff Emig is riding a little on the conservative side. I think that he's looking for a good, strong finish here. He should not be, because the riders that are coming up are faster than he is. Emig, if he wants to win, needs to let it all hang out. He's not doing that.
It has become a 4-man race, and you see him here. Emig number 8, 7 is LaRocco, 3 is Kedrowski, 2 is Stanton, a gap back from them. As you look at records and past performances, you have to view Stanton as the favorite out of this quartet. He's the 2-time series champ. He's passed a lot of people. Oh, and he bobbles big time. Hit the bale, strung hay all over the racetrack, and yet did not lose so much as a bike lane.
Not at all, and he's not taking any time to collect himself. Now, that's when the adrenaline is really flowing, when you can recover from a bobble like that and get right back on your man and look for another line around him, well, you've got things going your way.
The laps are winding down, and the pressure is on Stanton, who knows that his teammate Jean-Michel Bayle is a long way back. This is a great opportunity to establish his supremacy early on. He may or may not know that Bradshaw has crashed, but in any case, right now, Stanton is the guy who is charging, goes up high, takes another line, goes after Kedrowski. Motocross Mike grabs a big handful, does a double jump, and retaliates and holds on to the spot. Good racing here. This is what we expected to see through the whole night.
Well, we're seeing it now, and it is exciting. Now, one of the things that we need to point out here is that Mike LaRocco is now starting to pressure Jeff Emig. Emig has not had pressure on him all night long. How will he? That's how he's going to react. LaRocco put the pressure on, and Emig went wide. LaRocco snuck to the inside, made the pass. We've got a new leader.
First time tonight, Mike LaRocco out front. Emig surrenders under pressure, blew the left-hander after the start-finish line, and into the lead goes LaRocco. Now the question, can Stanton get around Kedrowski and go up there to mix it up with his old rival, Mike LaRocco? Still a tight four-man battle at the tail end of that quartet. Stanton trying to make moves on the outside. He did this last lap as well. Goes around the sand trap now. Comes up alongside Kedrowski. Battle for third. Stanton has the inside line. Whoa, bobble for Emig. And Kedrowski drilled him and fell off. The second and third place riders have crashed. Stanton will go to second spot. Big development here. That's going to shake up the top five. We'll take a look at it when we come back. Mike LaRocco leads the race. Stanton is second. Jeff Ward moves up to third. Matasevich is fourth, and Larry Ward is fifth. We'll be back after this.
BMW reminds you there's more to life than a bigger office. Is this the year you experience BMW motorcycles?
A lot of women find my looks intimidating. Do you?
My mother makes the best brisket.
There I was in the Congo.
Why is a good man so hard to find?
Just a minute, okay? Why ask why? Try Bud Dry. It's dry brewed, not watered down. To drink light, yet satisfy completely. So while men aren't perfect,
You think so?
at least refreshment is.
Combine the power of McEnroe, Agassi, Sampras, and Leach, and you've got an explosive U.S. team determined to reclaim the Davis Cup. Their next obstacle, Czechoslovakia, starting Friday on ESPN.
To some, the world just looks better from a different angle. For those select few, Honda built the CBR 900RR, CBR 600 F2, and VFR 750F. Enjoy the view.
We're back at Orlando. Battle for the lead. Mike LaRocco on the Kawasaki out front of Jeff Stanton, the two-time series champ. And Stanton is right at his rear wheel. He was the big beneficiary of that mishap just before the commercial involving Jeff Emig and Mike Kedrowski. We'll go back in a moment and take a look at that. Right now, I think the question is whether Stanton can keep that steamroller rolling and go all the way to the lead.
He has the momentum in his favor, and I would have to say that he's probably in the best position of the two riders.
Let's go back and take a look at what happened just before we went to commercial and see what befell Jeff Emig and Mike Kedrowski.
Dave, they call it being in the right place at the right time. Stanton was. He squeaks by on the inside as, watch this, Emig bobbles. He's hit from behind by Kedrowski. They're down. Stanton takes over the number 2 position.
And from there, Jeff Stanton has ridden right to the rear wheel of Mike LaRocco, making his Kawasaki debut here in 1992 with a golden opportunity. I'll tell you what, you get hired by a new team, nothing better than going out and winning the first race.
I'm sure that's running through LaRocco's mind. What's running through Stanton's mind? Make the pass, take the win. He wants to start this season with 25 points. That's what you get for capturing that main event. 2 times a champion, he wants it one more time.
He's running out of laps and running out of time. LaRocco has been smooth, consistent. He's covering the inside and keeping Stanton at bay. And so the pressure, oh, look at this move. He belts him.
He does indeed. Going into the corner, he got to the inside of LaRocco. And what really surprises me is LaRocco did not go down because he hit him a pretty good lick. Anyhow, LaRocco holds on to the number 1 spot. Stanton's still chasing.
Has LaRocco withstood Stanton's best shot? Remains to be seen. Meanwhile, look at Jean-Michel Bale, series champ. First time we've seen him in the main event. Battle for 5th and 6th with Doug Dubach, and it's a good one. Bale on the bottom of the racetrack. Dubach up high, takes the double jump, hangs on to the position.
Well, Bale with that terrible start has worked his way, up this far, and it looks like he's going to be mired. They're probably tired by this time.
Not a great start for the series champion. Bale undoubtedly happy happy that there are 15 more races after tonight. Number 7, Mike LaRocco, hoping there are 15 more just like this one. He's about to lap Guy Cooper. White flag is out. I think he's got him covered, Lair.
I think he does, Dave, but I'll tell you, he can't afford to make any kind of mistake. I know we said this earlier in that 125 race, but Jeff Stanton did not come this far to give up. And Stanton is going to be driving all the way to the finish line on this one. Now, you watch him.
There's Papa LaRocco. Mike's dad is also his mechanic. Now, he's not signaling that his kid's number 1. He's signaling those lap riders to get out of the way because my kid's coming through with a chance to win this thing. And he doesn't want any guy a lap down and knock Mike LaRocco off. Stanton is still there, potential perhaps for some kind of a miracle, but LaRocco is headed for home. Here comes Stanton trying to make one last. Whoa, and Stanton is off the motorcycle. Stanton has crashed out of second spot. Here comes Jeff Ward, number 6. Is he going to get by? He does. Ward, starting his final season of Supercross, will finish second to Mike LaRocco. Big development on the last lap. LaRocco wins it. Here comes Ward turning for home. Stanton crashed on the next to last set of whoop-de-doos and will settle for 3rd spot. Quite a finish to an unbelievable night here in Orlando. As 37,000 fans come to their feet to salute